right off the bat, what do the Toronto Raptors need to do in order to get past LeBron James? That's a loaded question.
I mean, if I had the answers, I wouldn't be sitting right here. We battled. I think I said yesterday after the game, I think it took us a little too long to be as physical as we were, to kind of go out with a, any means necessary attitude. And I mean, not to take anything away from them, they played great. Guys made shots around LeBron. LeBron played great, and we played. We had some great moments in the series too. We just couldn't figure out the ways to get over the humps when it was time to. I don't really have like a direct answer to how you stop the guy that's doing what he's doing over there.
CJ, what was the ride home like last night as a group?
It's weird, man. It's always weird anytime in that situation, because one, it's like the last one like that for a long time, and two, guys are pissed, and at the same time, these are your brothers. These are people you built a relationship. These are people that have been picking you up out of the dirt all year, and every time stuff goes wrong, like, we find a way to get each other feeling better. But there's no tomorrow now. So it's like it's a lulling thing, and it's not as much talking as you would think. Nobody's really conversing, and it's just kind of. Luckily, it wasn't like we had to fly back from the West Coast or something, because then it makes it even worse. It's only a half-an-hour flight, so I mean, this one. I mean, there's a little bit of everything. Like I said, guys are upset. And we talk about the game, and just things that could have done, didn't do, plays we thought should have went our way, didn't go our way. The typical stuff. But I think it just kind of gas out. It kind of gets to like, there's no need to keep sitting here yelling at each other about it. Not yelling at each other, but raising our voices, getting heated about it, because now there's nothing we can do about it.
It was a really good regular season, and it ended in a way that was totally different. How do you prepare to start next year with that in mind, that no matter what you do on the regular season, it's the playoffs that are going to make the season?
Just taking everything from the year that individually, I think, especially things like for myself, that I could work into my game, knowing the system now, knowing everything that we're trying to do and things that need to be done. And I think for me, that's all I can speak on at this point. For the summer, I learned a lot in my 13 years just from being in this atmosphere, from being in an atmosphere that is, from day one, its goal is championship. It's been a long time since I've been in a spot where a team where that was the realistic goal. It wasn't fight to make the playoffs or fight to be better than last year. It was ring. Like, that's the thought process. So there's another level, and obviously, and now you're getting a little taste of it. It's like, how do I get there? And I think it just starts with you sitting down, whether it's breaking down film, breaking down numbers, breaking down whatever, and you just put your head down and you work through the summer, through September or whatever, until we come back.
CJ, you work really closely with a lot of the younger guys and so much success as a group. What do you think they're going to take out of their first playoff experience? Some guys had some good moments, other guys didn't.
I think it can be nothing but positive for them, because these guys have been working their tails off for the last couple of years, and then getting all the minutes and experience they got this season, and arguably won us a lot of games. They got a taste of that other level I was talking about, and there's no way they can know about it, because they never really been in a situation. So it's almost like a hit that was inevitable. It was bound to, and then, don't get me wrong, they still had good moments, because you kind of, grab a bull by the horns, you can hold on for a second. But you still, until you figure out how to, until you figure out everything that you need to do for the situation, it's hard.
Yeah, and do you think just getting exposed to a LeBron James team that's kind of ramping up game by game, you can't really
Yeah.
experience anywhere else?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best ways to get it. We had two trying series. Watch them. They were competitive. They play hard. There's different dynamics, and then obviously going into Cleveland and the way they're playing basketball, the way LeBron's playing, the way those guys are making shots around them, just the things they're doing and the understanding they have of what it takes, because some of those guys have been to the promised land, and then other guys are just feeding off of them. And it's the same thing. Like, a lot of the young guys learned a lot from Kyle DeMar and throughout the season, and it was able to just kind of take steps throughout the year. And we got to a point where we just kind of, as a collective, couldn't figure out how to get over the hump.
Jeff, you're playing for the number one seed. Does it feel like a wasted opportunity?
Excuse me. Even like friends have asked me that. People have asked me that, and I don't know how to answer it yet, because I'm still kind of trying to. Because when you're in it, you're not thinking about, oh, this season's like special. You're winning. You're just thinking about the grind and how do we win the next one and how do we keep getting better, because you're thinking about what we just went through, how to be better for that point. I think that you can't take away from what we did during the year. We had an incredible season, regular season, and I think that's great. And I think it does still stand for something. Obviously, the goal is to win the ring, but that still means something. That's a team that set a franchise history and win. Franchise history wins in a season. A lot of guys had great years. A lot of guys stepped up. A lot of fun moments. A lot of times, this team figured out how to win games that we probably shouldn't have won. A lot of adversity that guys, took a lot from, and it's going to make guys' careers better. You look at a guy like Freddie this year, Pascal, Jakob, all that second, all those guys, everything from that season is going to do a lot for them going into this summer and next year. I think there's a lot of things that we can take from it.
CJ, you joined this team to be part of, to help facilitate this culture reset, which, as you point out, was extremely successful in the regular season. What do you think about, from the time you guys started training camp, enacting this to where you got with it? How impressed are you with the development, but how much further do you think that sort of growth in your style needs to go?
I think there's a lot of growth left, just because of, like you said, the changes that we did make and guys growing into it this year. And I always said it was a little bit easier for me because I came in with a clean slate. Like, I didn't have to relearn or erase anything. I was coming in having to learn something new anyway. So I think our guys being willing to adapt and change and do things says a lot about them, and that the fact that you can only get better within it, and you just got to continue to figure out ways to take it up a notch for the playoffs. Understand the creative ways you can do things, or how much harder you have to do things, or how much that it breaks down to just being basketball at some point, because every play is scouted, every tendency scouted, everything, and it's about just believing in ball movement, open shots, playing hard within what you've been doing. You don't have to break out and you don't have to put a cape on. Anybody that's 1 through 13, I think we all had moments where we tried too much because the game was getting out of hand. And I think that's one of the things we got to get back to leaning on.
This was your first year with this group. Regular season record and on-court success aside, what was the group like to play with, the locker room, the guys?
These guys are great, man. And I think you can see that. Like, it oozes through everything that we do. We're always joking and laughing together. You see from anything, from whether you follow guys on social media or you just in the gym. It's always loud, talkative, fun. This has been one of the best groups I've been around, and that's a testament to the organization too, the type of people that they also bring in, which also helps with building what we have here, basketball-wise, because I'm not saying guys don't play hard, but for certain guys, but it's a fact that guys play harder with guys they like, and they play better. So for you to have a bunch of good guys who all understand that we're trying to do one thing, which is win a championship, and will put things aside to do it, it's great.